just something quick I found, take it on board, and don't use it because it's just solving something right now. Think of it that does this AI sit within your organization's process? You may give that AI a small role to play, but tomorrow will it expand, will it scale? Because as you rightly said, one thing for one problem. I have another problem. This AI can't solve it. I need another AI. That's not an AI solution at all. That is, lack of better word, an immature AI solution. And that is why I say that demos, everything works fabulously. And organizations who can tell you with confidence that demo everybody can do, we can also do. Come sit with us for a 2-hour workshop, build your own AI agent. Sit with us and build an AI agent and see how easy or difficult it is. And I think I can take pride, Salesforce does that. We do our own workshops because we know AI is easy to build. It requires time to think what is it that you want the AI to do. Don't give everything to the AI. And AI should, one of the more important things that we believe is that AI should not be a separate application or separate something that I'm doing my work, now I want AI, so let me go to AI. AI should be available where I'm doing my work. Whether it is, as you said, sir, gave an example of earlier to create codes, you needed 6 people. Now one person can create. Now that one person in his or her interface has AI helping them then and there. So AI has to be in the flow of work, and organizations should have a very thought out AI strategy. You may start small but have a long term view of AI. Don't think of it.
I'm not talking him because he's quite big, quite rich. It's still the GPU cost and setup needs to come down. The cost to train them and the manpower which goes into implementation has to come down to a level of few percentage. Only then retail can adopt. Believe me, that's the biggest barrier today. But since we're starting new business, we have started using it for understanding customer for the first time in the supermarket, hypermarket category in India. And we would also want to use it for the overall store operations management and the pilferage control, the incident escalations. So we were making the entire part, that's one part of it. The other part of it is more in terms of our reordering systems. Giving various variables and trying to see how best we can be prepared ourselves for consumer demand. That's on the retail front. On the FMCG front, we have DMS and SFA, and there are a lot of players who are talking to us, and we are in the process of upgrading it to next gen, which reduces dependency on the human and makes it more contextual and specific in terms of what, when, and who. Because if you look at company, and I was talking to the cycle brand, we talked about 800 SKUs. Who is going to sell 800 SKUs? For the company, there is a sales target for every 800 SKUs. But where, what, whom, and human, it's beyond human mind. The only people who can come into salvage is AI. And believe me, no salesman can sell more than 5 products. And the people who are selling it are at a level whose aptitude is almost 1/3 or 1/4 of the people who are sitting in this room, from an aptitude number perspective, I'm saying, and expecting them to sell. Even our company has 100 SKUs. Ultimately, what a person speaks is only 3 SKUs. So I think that's where AI is helping. It's the biggest power of AI is it's making the human intelligent, even simple humans intelligent. So that's my take, and overall I see it is the GPU cost and some of these factors. Once it becomes a little more commoditized rather than it is still an implementation. It's in many ways. If you go to many people, they'll say I have 4 use cases trained, I have 20 use cases trained. Nobody says your business we have covered it in all possible ways.
So I think absolutely, sir. So in fact, some of our customers who are using Salesforce SFA DMS on our platform, the AI that we built for them exactly does. It gives us nudges, right? When a field sales rep goes to a retailer.
Correct. The 1,000 FMCG companies, good companies in India, and 10 companies maybe.
Very few.
Where is 1,000? Where is 10?
Yes.
And I'm talking about companies which are like $1 billion plus, absolutely not using it. So that's where the journey is. So I think all of us are waiting for the technology to become more comprehensive in terms of its and for cost to come down. It has to come down.
And as he said, the smaller companies are usually better. The bigger companies, no, they always think we have been doing good. The smaller companies, some uniqueness to show, they get into thing and they start adopting it. Yesterday, whom I went, is a shipping industry. He's a small company, but this is a head place. Even a very big company, he has been not using it. So for him, there's a chance for him to come up.
And I'll tell you one, the biggest use case, and Arun, this is for you. When a person enters a store, just, our faces everywhere, it's no more ours. He should know that, okay, Arun has entered, and he should know, okay, show only these 4 designs. Your hit rate will be 25%. And more importantly, their biggest challenge today, all of you will realize, is inventory. The inventory cost is equivalent to at times margin cost in terms of percentage basis. If the moment he utilizes that and he says, there will be 3 times productivity in the inventory. So you don't have to know. He will know the customers who are going to come, because Haryana customers are not going to come to his shop. So his catchment is clear, and the system will learn, okay, these are the designs which will come. He will come during this season. You show him this 10, out of this 10, 2 will go off. Their ROI is just like that, and Aditya, you should say that solution.
Absolutely. So, in fact, some of our customers, what they're doing is, the ones who also have a good online presence, but the purchase is made on the store, jewelry, right? When I have given my credentials, I go to a website, I'm browsing through some stuff, right? Now, when I enter that, the store rep knows what was I looking, what needs to be sold to me. So, my conversion becomes higher. They know what.
The most irritating question is, sir, what do you want?
Exactly.
Most irritating question. Rather, he should know that I don't like, that platinum design. Why even talk about it? I should know, all said and done, humans are humans. He's going to experiment within this thing. If it is my son, they will know his profile. He's a separate persona compared to.
Absolutely. So that's what I think AI helps in personalizing a lot, even though the sale has to be made by the store rep, but the personalization helps the store rep become more efficient in delivering that targeted message when the person is at the store. So your footfall conversion becomes better.
I think we clearly, one thing which I wanted to sort of put it out there, and every industry has a different use case today. And the application of a agentic layer to it should be aligned to that particular use case of that particular industry. So I think if you look at, and that is what last 10 years that we've been investing into it today, we are able to bring an agent which is focused on a particular industry with respect to that particular use case. So if you talk about service, and he spoke about the Indigo example, right, where it's a customer for us, big scale. I think we spoke about it. At the end of the day, we clearly understand in an airline industry what an agentic capability is needed and what the role needs to be happening. The same thing if you flip to a jewelry, and we have customers on the jewelry side using it, that is a very different use case, right? In the context of, somebody who's going to do a lot of looking at typically marriage. Marriage is a whole family thing. Now, if you look at it, if I'm getting married at the age of 28, 29, I'll probably do my first bit on an online piece. I'll look at the designs and everything, and then I will go to a store because I'll make that purchase in the store. I'm not going to spend thousands and lakhs of rupees on an online to buy a jewelry. Now, that agentic experience needs to be very, very different than what an airline agentic experience needs to be. I think take it to next level. I think he spoke about healthcare. Today, where the main use case in healthcare where the agentic layer is getting applied is radiology. Because if you look at it, in India, there are some largest chain of hospitals who are actually experimenting with an AI layer in the radiology department, because first, that's a risk which is lower as related to the other areas, and then the use cases are very well defined in that particular segment. So again, the point is at the end, and that's what, when we talk about an AI agentic layer, we're not going to talk about a generalized use case. We are talking about specific use case. We have 8 industries or 9 industries that we have defined, and our agentic layer basically comes down to each and every of that industry in terms of specific use case and how an agent can bring those capabilities on those use cases. So that's what probably something which we are working through, and we'll continue to work. I mean, we have 2,000 customers in India, and every day we learn something new, and we probably put that back and sort of, our LLMs are also learning as we speak, right? So I think that's where, when you build your AI strategy, it is not about, like he said, an immediate point. We all are telling our customers 3 years, 5 years, if you have a very clear vision as to where that is and how you are going to build AI as a capability into it, whether you like it or not, you will have to do it. So how do you build that journey? And the starting point can be an assistive AI use case. Just about me trying to send an email to somebody, getting the content right. That can be as basic as an assistive use case for me. Because I'm segmenting that target audience maybe from a jewelry segment point of view and sending that email or maybe a WhatsApp message or whatever, I need to get the wordings right. I need to make sense to the other guy. So it can be an assistive use case. So I think it is the possibilities are immense. We are obviously going through that journey as we speak. And I think it's great for us to learn a lot of things in this forum as well. I don't know if you had a...
No, I think, so
can we understand now from what Salesforce is going to offer? Because we are talking about what is the requirement from the each perspective industries. But the question is, what I need to understand is, do you have a ready-made customized program, or basically you have a different level of programs for different requirements, different industries, different requirements? How is it basically? Because if you ask me as a layman today, my kids will say that today AI is available free. It's there freely available. I can download any of the app and today you start working on that and they give us all the solutions today at least. So my question is, how are you different from the free AI today? So because there is a commercial value, so how is it going to add value?
Fair enough.
Yeah, like you say, it's like almost all retail stores. If you have a store, products may be different, but our requirement may be similar.
yes.
Okay, so if there is something readily available for like you had Tally or you had Excel or anything which anybody can adapt. If you have something that is available for any retail, then I think most of us can be customers.
So what we have, to answer your question, sir, we have AI, as I just said, right? AI, we believe in AI to be in the flow of work. So the flow of work that Salesforce offers are those CRM applications, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, what are core horizontal applications, Commerce Cloud. Then in the last 5 years, we've taken a shift towards giving industry clouds, consumer goods clouds, retail cloud, financial services cloud, manufacturing cloud. So we have AI agents for all of these clouds.
So all are different modules.
All are different agents. The fundamental layers are the same. They are built on data within your CRM. They can pull in data from other applications because for your, let's say, your call center agent or whoever accesses different systems to decide. So your AI also, when AI has to decide, needs to access different systems. So it has CRM data, external data. It is built on trust layer, Salesforce trust layer, and touch upon that later, as you said, how is it different? And on top of it sit our applications. So, and when I compare a sales agent with a service agent to a consumer goods agent, the difference is what are the typical use cases in sales, service and consumer goods. So I have ready-made agents with ready-made actions available, and then of course I can build my own. Let's say I come from an industry or I need AI to do something which hypothetically nobody has done. I give you agent builder, so you can build those agents. What I give you is a starting point of agents in each of these clouds that I spoke about. You can add topics, instructions, actions to it because you want your AI to do different things.
And the agent goes beyond. I mean, I mentioned in my keynote in the morning. So for example, a refund process. Now refund process is applicable to most businesses, but it is different for different businesses, the way it operates. The fundamental part in most cases is the refund process will have an ERP at the back end where the data will need to be fetched, right? It may be SAP, it may be any other ERP that you talk about. Once that data is fetched, what action the agent takes is very, very customized in the context of a business. So technically, this agent that we talk about goes beyond Salesforce capability. So it can go fetch the data from SAP or any other ERP for that matter that you have, and then bring that rate into an action. The action is defined by my business in terms of what action I need to do when I have a certain request from a refund perspective that comes on my side. So, you know, it goes beyond the typical Salesforce ecosystem. It goes beyond that also and tries, you know, solving for a particular action that needs to be taken. The other difference is, it is today, you have all heard about the regulatory aspects, you know, the data protection bill, DPDP, everything is coming over and all of that. The regulatory guidelines and the trust that the AI a foundation that needs to have a foundation for this AI is something which is the most critical aspect into this, because tomorrow, see, if data protection bill lands up, it is already up there for an approval, lands up, a lot of these businesses will have to create guardrails in terms of the way they're going to engage with the customer, whether it's B2C or B2B. Today only financial industry is taking the impact, everybody else, no, I don't question my mobile provider as to how my number has reached to somebody who's calling me, right? But that's going to change. So the point is, at the end of the day, those guardrails, those trust layers, all of that becomes so significant in future that the free part of it would not make that cut. It needs one thing to go wrong and then your business can crash, right?
Just one of the other things, in your system, any system you build, ERP, CRM, you give certain accesses to certain people.
Correct.
I should have access to, let's say, only my territory, my account, somebody. I should not be able to see. That's the rules you build, right? The way Salesforce AI works is, it is the same AI agent. Let's say an assistive sales agent who helps a salesperson get more information about their accounts, that what is the best product to sell, etc. We spoke about multiple SKUs being available, etc. So AI agents help. Same AI agent I've built for my entire organization, all sales guys. But when I question the AI agent, okay, which product have I not sold at all this quarter? It only has access to my data because I am the one prompting it. That is the big difference. So all the guidelines and guardrails you have anyways built in your system follow through even when that person uses AI. Even if AI may have access to everything, you've given AI that access, but depending on who's invoking that AI, prompting the AI, that's what Salesforce's guardrails do, the trust layer does. Say AI will only have access to what I have access to. AI is just speeding up for me the act of looking into multiple systems and finding that. But it does not have access to more than what I have access to. So my boss asking the same question, it will give different data because my boss has access to much more things. So that's one of the other things. Plus on top of it, sir, what we built, as you said, right, AI is available, OpenAI, ChatGPT is available. How is Salesforce AI different? Salesforce has built an entire trust layer. What it does is every time I prompt my AI, it will enrich my question with my data, right? Like if I'm asking, what's the product I have not sold? Plus Rohan is asking the same question. Both, before the AI responds, AI has to understand what have I sold. So it has to enrich my prompt with my data, same as his case. But before the AI goes to LLM, LLM could be hosted in Salesforce, then there is no problem. But a lot of our customers say, no, I have an OpenAI contract, I want to use OpenAI as the LLM for my AI. Before the prompt goes outside of Salesforce boundary, it is masked. LLM answers, comes back, it is demasked, it is checked for toxicity, hallucination. So your input that is coming out is not hallucinated outcome. It is rid of any toxicity, especially if you have a customer facing AI bot, you want AI to be extremely, polite and, in line with your brand's way of communicating. All of that can be built in the Salesforce trust layer. Whereas if you just use OpenAI, you can't do any of that. So I spoke about topic, instructions, actions. Topic is what is the work you'll do. Instructions are the guardrails. You will always greet customers with hello. If a customer is agitated, sentiment is negative, please pass the message back to a human agent. These are instructions. Instructions make sure that your AI agent follows your brand's communication guidelines, your sentiments, your values. It doesn't do anything which is rude, impolite. And actions are what the action, refund issue, right? Or giving order status, right? So that is how you can build an AI agent, and that's why I was saying, please don't fall for shiny AI tools. They are dime a dozen. We can also do fancy demos. What we tell our customers is sit with us, don't give us half an hour, give us 1 hour, build your own agent and see how these, structures that we have in place all come together for you to give a very good experience to your customers, which keep you safe on the DPDP front, which keep you safe from inadvertently accessing each other's data within the organization, also keep you safe in terms of the consumer facing AI if there's a brand reputation risk because of poor response from AI. Trust layer solves all of that.
So need more clarifications now. I think every organization are using multiple tools. Like for billing, they have a cost solution. For accounting, they have a tally solution. Then they have a CRM solution, so the third party. Then again, HR, fourth party. So there are about multiple solutions for every organization. So you mean to say your tool is going to get integrated with all of the tools, how is it going to work?
Very good question.
Because you said data is going to pull, so for data to pull, then it has to get
Open
integrated
API,
with my
absolutely.
solution.
You are absolutely right.
For my Tally solution, it has to get then integrated, otherwise how will it pull the
Agree.
data?
That's exactly,
So
that's
integration is a big challenge, it's not that easy. Because the vendor who we are using right now has to be ready for getting that kind of integration done with that software. So those kind of challenges are also there.
You're absolutely right, sir. Some of our organizations, if you have just few systems, integration is easy. But you have multiple systems, different different versions, etc. That's where Salesforce has an integration layer called MuleSoft. MuleSoft is a Salesforce product, which is nothing but it automates API interaction between systems. So what it does is, traditional API is point to point. System A has to talk to B, you have to make that integration, B to C, C to D, D to A. MuleSoft is a common, it's like a connection between all my systems running. What it does is standardizes the API protocol. So the advantage is, in the long run, any change I make in any system, any version change happens, it doesn't break anything, right? It works seamlessly. That's the long-term advantage. And when you have a MuleSoft-based API, method of connecting your systems, the integration becomes seamless, and it is, proof to any kind of breakage because of any change made in one system. Today, if I make a change in system A, I have to rewrite the API between A and C, because I'm maybe changing a field from 12 character, I made it 18 character. As simple as that. MuleSoft takes care of all of that. In MuleSoft, you just make that change in MuleSoft. So your systems keep talking to each other seamlessly. So it's basically an API bus, right? So that is one. Secondly, as you rightly said, sir, will I have to give access to my AI? If you want, as I said, the topic, you have defined a topic for an AI to do. If to perform that action, the AI needs access to 3 systems, then yes, you'll have to give. If it needs only the action is performed by just the CRM data, then you need not give access to anything outside CRM. That is why AI, that's the beauty of the Salesforce AI, right? You build it block by block. You don't have to give access to everything to AI. You define what AI will do. That's why we said have your AI strategy, and then you give access to different systems where that data is, which is needed to perform that action.
So next question is now like Tally gives you 2 kind of packages. So one is the single user and the other is the multi-user. So in case tomorrow in my organization, say about 5 people wanted to use the Salesforce tool. So how does that work? Basically, is it a single module or like multi-user module? How is that?
Both kinds. I'm getting into, because you asked that question, so I'm answering. But there are 2 types of modules. Let's say I want to create an internal AI agent for my internal employees. That's the use case. And you said I want to give it to 5 people or 100 people. What's the difference?
Correct.
There are 2 kinds of licenses that are there. One is a license which is, if I buy per user license, then those users have unlimited access to ask as many AI questions, right? Number of prompts, etc., LLM hits, all of that is already paid for because I bought a heavier per user license. The other case is that I may not be a heavy user. I don't want to give, my users will not use heavy AI, but I want little AI for everyone. So 100 users, right? There is another model where I buy consumables. So it's not a per user, I just buy consumables. I'm estimating that 100 users in my organization will do 5 or 6 AI actions every day. I'm just taking a high-level figure. So 500, 600 AI actions every day into 30 days. So I'm assuming that I'll buy that many consumables. It's truly cloud in its nature. The per user license is where I think my users are heavy users. Every day they'll put 1,000 queries to AI. Then you take that, makes more sense for you. So we will help sit with you, depending on your volumes and your use case, determine what is the best, licensing model for you, so that it is better, gives you better ROI. So we have that flexibility, basically.
So from your experience with Maneuver, a company of a size of Maneuver, or moderately of that size of Maneuver, what is the kind of AI, how many licenses do they take, or what is it that you will recommend?
So, look,
Maneuver, what they got benefited, like,
he said,
I'm a recent customer to Maneuver. Recently I went on board. They have introduced AI? They have started?
Yeah, they have introduced AI, but obviously it's still at an early stage, like for anybody else. They have a commerce platform that from our side, and they are using that AI right now for the commerce platform only. We are trying to now move a stage further. They have service engagement also with Salesforce, so we'll move into that part. As we speak, we are doing a lot of POCs with them, but they've started leveraging some of the AI capabilities in some of these aspects of it. But if you talk about, obviously Manyavar is a classic case, and we have enough and more, like I said, 2,000 customers. We have a lot of customers in this region also where we are trying to work and experiment with AI. And I wouldn't say everything is gone live because it's too early days from an agentic layer to be adopted as we speak, and that's obviously going to take some while. But are there use cases we are solving for? The answer to that is yes. Are we making an impact? For example, I don't know, you heard Manyavar, he clearly called out that our conversion rates, they went up significantly. Of course, he'll not talk numbers in that video, but we know the kind of impact that has had. If you step a little bit back, we started our engagement with them three years back or so. So 2.5 years. So they were not a evolved and established company at that point in time, but they decided to take that engagement further, and over a period of time we have built those engagements. So yes, we do have identified use cases. Yes, we are working through it. We have identified use cases on jewelry side as well, which we are working through. Like obviously Manyavar, you have word on the retail side. So we have, again, airlines is a huge use case that we are addressing for Indigo and Air India. Hospitality is a huge use case that we are trying to work through. So there are use cases and we are pretty advanced in those journeys. But again, we recommend, and it depends on what actually you are looking at. Because one observation we have is when companies are in that journey from 200 crores to 500 crores, 500 crores to 1000 crores, 1000 crores to 3000 crores, all of these journeys are very different. And I think we have that experience to know because we work with them that extensive. So we basically, while we can bring everything on the table and dump it onto you, but at the end of the day, what you need is what matters. So which part of that journey you are in?
Yeah, so the price points for our customers, most of the price points is very low. So our return on investment, once we apply for all these things for retail customers, how do we recover that cost? You apply everything, the customer is comfortable, even our sales may go up, but to break even this cost what we may do in that investment, it's going to take long. So
exactly.
that is where everybody thinks like 10 times before we know it is going to be good, but how soon will we recover the cost is something.
No, ma'am, you're right. You're right.
So
margins.
I think the simple language is simple. If I have to invest 100 rupees, my return has to be either 200 or 300.
Of course.
Whatever my investment it is. End of the day, I cannot put 100
and we
rupees
can't increase
and
the
get
product
the
cost to the
efficiency for
customer.
50 rupees is a very bad deal if I do that. I think that is a relevant question she is asking.
No,
if I
absolutely.
put money, what is my ROI of that?
See, the point, and hence I said, if I am working with a customer who's in the journey from 200 crores to 500 crores, let's say, hypothetically, I know what use cases they're going to solve for to a certain extent. Of course, it depends on their business. Now, trust me, I'm going to go give you throw a big bomb at you. I also know the output of that and outcome of that. So at the first place, I may not even engage because I know they can't afford. So the point here is, margin pressures, like you correctly pointed out, and hence I said, it may be starting with an assistive use case because margin pressures are directly dependent on the productivity and efficiency that you're probably going to drive eventually for your organization. So start with an efficiency or a productivity use case, which you have a clearly defined problem, saying that I want to increase my productivity or efficiency for this particular process because today 15 people are doing it and my accuracy rate is only 90%. Can you take this accuracy of 98% and then maybe I can route those 5 out of those 15 people to something else? Now that's where we're talking productivity. So I think the point is, at the end of the day, that's the starting point and you build it up from there, because it doesn't make sense otherwise, and nobody does that investment in the sense if I'm going to throw a big bomb and then you do it. So it's a starting point. The beauty of this is you can start anywhere. Whether it's commerce, whether it's marketing, whether it's SFA, whether it's GMS, whether it's service, you can start with us anywhere because everything that we do on front end, we have established very clear 20-25 years of experience on that. How we build our agent's journey on that is basically the use cases that you bring to the table.
Does these agents can read the images?
No, I was about to ask that.
Well, because for retail,
Yes.
especially for jewelry retail, the major disadvantage when we are servicing a customer something, when they give a product like when we have 5,000 or 7,000 SKUs, to give the correct suggestion to the customer is something very difficult, and the service person who sits on the computer giving suggestions, it totally drives through them. So if your AI can read the images and give proper suggestion, that makes a huge difference for us.
I'm gonna
In terms of efficiency.
I'm gonna answer that. I know we need to probably empty the room, but the answer to that is yes.
Okay.
We have done it for a couple of our customers where image recognition. So, for example, I have what happens in an electronic good, right? I have a toaster. Something has gone wrong. How will I explain? I take an image and I sort of put it on the chart and then it shows this is my problem. And that kind of use cases we solving for. So we do have that capability.
AI is multimodal. It doesn't just take text, it takes images. In October, it's also going to add voice to it.
I have one more question. For you, the customer will be competitors also. How do you use my information for the other customers? How do I know that the information is not,
So,
you know,
trust is...
AI just use your learning or your data's learning.
No, so trust is our number one value. We never use your data at all. The only time we talk about a customer is in the customer stories, like Vedant Fashion, right? Whatever. Similarly, a lot of successful, happy customers, they are media shy, they don't want to, fair enough. A lot of them want to talk about what they've done, so we put that. Otherwise, we don't talk about our customers at all. We don't have access to customer data. So I can't, as a Salesforce employee, look into, in fact, I think you're not Salesforce customers, that's why this question. Our Salesforce customers, when they raise a support ticket, when something goes wrong, right, something's not working, they raise a support ticket, support agent asks, please give me access to your instance. We don't even have access. The support person, engineer who's supposed to fix something, they ask for access, and your admin can give access for 1 day, 1 week, whatever. And the access goes away after that. So we don't have any access to your data.
See, with companies like Salesforce, you need not bother about data privacy because we have stringent laws to follow, even if not in India, globally. So we have a huge cost to pay if something of that happens to from a brand image and brand impact perspective. So I wouldn't talk about smaller players because everybody lives by penny, but we obviously our first investment goes into trust and the layer that we have built. And so we talk about it as well in terms of guardrails, trust layer, and all this stuff.
Let me tell you the truth, because my son was in Australia for 2 years, right, in studies, and in fact when he came back, I asked, some mails came from Salesforce also. I told, okay, Salesforce, some proposals are coming, do we need to explore? He says, it's quite big, it's too big, do we need that kind of solutions also? In fact, that was the first reaction from him also, that it is too big. Do we even require that kind of solutions as of now? So I think that's a kind of image you have.
It's a perception, and to be honest, today Microsoft carries a similar perception, SAP carries a similar perception. But the reason we are here and we're doing this and we have local investments that we are making, when I say local, regional investments we are making, is because we know we are obviously now moving the needle for last couple of years to move into a segment, and we have built our costs accordingly as well, because cost is the biggest deterrent in most cases, which we probably, I can call it out in this forum itself. We know what costs, and then you basically get branded as an enterprise player, which we are not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had 2,000 customers. And we could have had the 200 big ones, 300 big ones. Happy days.
We have a very big presence in the SMB market in India. So a lot of customers who are small scale, under 50, 100 employees, use Salesforce. Of course, Salesforce has different editions, so if their need is limited, they start with a smaller license type. But the investment or the foresight that they've shown by trusting us is that when they grow, they can just enhance their Salesforce capability.
They just brought it to your notice because this is the perception of the market.
You are right.
Which is right. And by the way,
what you said is also right, because even for Microsoft, people used to think that it's too big, even for SAP or.
Yeah, so we understand it and we're breaking that barrier. And hopefully, last year in this region itself, when I said this south, I'm talking about specifically on retail and consumer goods, we added 14 net new logos. That wouldn't have happened, and these are all mid-market and commercial segments. that wouldn't have happened if we were not playing the game of price. So that's the way I see it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much.
your
Thank you.
interactive conversation.
Yeah.
It's a great learning for us also.
Yeah, we take a lot of input on this.